Wide Family Farm presents
The Poop Troop! Citizen Guardian. Our fish is in Ma's life. My Aussie garden and kitchen. Garden State Gardener. Ginger Ninja. Rain Man Prepping. Buttercup. Viper. Bob 942. Mama Bear Prepping. Gardener Josh. Big Blue House Homestead. Blackwood. Sandra Moody. Rocky Mountain High. Recyclable Homestead. Ramblin' Rose Homestead. CB. Hedgehog Homestead and Warren Lewis. In the house. Stew Kitchen and Beyond. Skinner Farms. Yosie. Big Chap. Nana's Menagerie. Heaven's Essentials. Oh, Battle Junkie, back with love. Strawberry Shortcake, JFM. Chatio, Mary's Ranch and Wild Cooking. Rambling with the Brums. Red Road Homestead. Grammy Karen, the Tinkerer's wife. Cameron Hislop, Cosmic Cultivators. Mrs. Cosmic Cultivators. Grillin' and chillin' with Mojo. Big Dreams Homestead.
Hey everybody, and welcome to this edition of Wide Family Farm. How's everybody doing today? I see there's a lot of people in the chat. Viper, I hope you don't mind, but I use your logo for an emoji. So, whenever you come up, people are gonna, put your logo out there. I thought it was kind of funny. If you don't like it, message me and I'll take it down. But I thought it was funny. Okay, so look who's in the house. Who's there? It looks like Uncle Al's here. Backwoods Law. Of course, Yosie. Thank you so much. Trisha. Thank you, Trish, for being here. But she's on diaper duty, which I know what that's about. Backwoods Law. I already said that, I think. Skinner Farms is here. Of course, Hedgehog Homestead. And Bob. Da Bob. Thank you for being here. Cute Kitchen and Beyond. Prop for it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember as I go down the line if I said your name already. Where to begin? Homestead. Thank you for being here. Homestead Aquarius. It's a pleasure. And I think that is it. If I missed you, I am sorry. Oh, it's Cosmic Cultivators and Engineer. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. I'm just going through here. See, Viper's putting his logo all over the house. He's just graffitiing it. Eric Johnson. Hey, honey, how you doing? Nope, this is not the ladies only chat. This is my garden talk. Ladies only chat starts at 11. I'm testing it out. I think I'm going to do ladies night once a month. and get some ladies up in here so we keep it even. Because most of the time it's just me and the guys, or it's me and Fishes and the guys. Hedgehog, me, Fishes, and the guys. So I'm trying to keep it a little even for my stats. So once a month, we'll bring in the women, and we'll have a good chat. Thank you so much for being here, though, Eric Johnson. Appreciate you. Not a troll, Eric Johnson. Yeah. Okay. So I decided to bring Laura up. Laura's a pretty interesting person, and there's a lot of things that we don't know about her. I mean, she's new to our community over here, but I feel like I've known her for like way longer than that. It's so strange. Like, you know, you meet people for the first time, and like it just clicks, it just goes. And so therefore I just don't really know a lot about her, but I feel like I do. Like, it's so strange. But anyway, I'm so glad to introduce you to her tonight. There's just going to be a lot of questions, and hopefully a lot of interesting ones. We'll get to know her, you know, about her homestead. And so, yeah. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring her up.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for being here tonight. We really appreciate you being here. But, you know, one thing that impressed me the most is that, well, one, we got along so quickly off the bat, and it just happened so fast. But also, like, you just joined the poop troop without even knowing about the poop troop. You just kind of joined in, you're in, and I absolutely love that. Like, you're here. You fit in so well. It's like I've known you for years.
Well,
and
you're speaking my language, talking about poop. What can I say?
It's just like it happened so fast. Like, and seriously, like I think we've only known each other for a couple months, not even that. And I just, like I said, I think all of us can say that we feel like we've known you for years. And we really appreciate you coming along with us and joining the family. And yeah, it's the family aspect of this. Why I'm doing this is because I wanted to create friendships that were memorable, that were non-dramatic, that were real. I wanted to have real connections with real people. And I'm not trying to be dramatic when I warn others about other people. It's not trying to be dramatic or anything like that. It's just, you know, I really care about people, and I don't want people to get caught up in other people's either illegal activity or, you know, whatever else they're hiding. So when I say that, I'm just, you know, trying to be the best friend that I can be by warning other people, you know. And then when I take people on, I care about my poop troopers, you know. So with that being said, thank you so much once again for joining us. And I'm just going to ask you just, you know, some basic questions. So what got you into homesteading? I know right now you live in this city, or in a suburb.
I live in the suburb of Portland. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, I mean, is your city pretty open for you to have chickens and stuff like that? Some cities won't allow you to have chickens at all.
Well, I didn't ask.
Oh, you just did it. Okay.
Yeah.
Laura's ballsy. Yeah.
And my neighbors were good about it. In fact, they buy eggs from me. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. How many chickens do you have?
8.
8. Okay. All right. I was curious about that. Do you have a rooster, or no, it's just chickens?
No, I wouldn't try that. That would be. I want a rooster so I can do the whole, you know, collect the eggs, hatch the eggs, do all that stuff. But
yeah.
No, I respect my neighbors too much. That would be too close.
Yeah, I understand.
No.
Let's see. Country Mama, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I've seen you in our chats before, so thank you so much. Yeah, so I was just curious about that. Now, I see that you have some raised beds. Do you I know you have pools and some raised beds. Do you put things in the grounds or no? I couldn't tell.
No, I don't.
No, it's all in like
I
containers.
could, but we have I have 4 rabbits, but we have a really big rabbit population. That's probably why we have so many coyotes and other things. Um, and they eat everything that I put in the ground. So if it's raised up a little bit, they don't tend to get in there.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a bad mold problem, so if I line the beds, they usually stay out. So.
1 second, let me ask the question. Okay, so you do a lot of container gardening. Have you weighed any of your stuff for this year? Normally that's not a question I ask, but since I'm in Shed Wars this year, I'm actually really happy that I weighed everything that I have this year because it really narrowed down like to how much I'm actually producing. And It's kind of cool. Do you weigh anything this year at all?
I should. I don't.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I love to grow tomatoes. That's my big thing. But I finally have some carrots coming up.
Cool.
I've grown a lot of potatoes, kale. Not real great at broccoli or most of
I'm not either. I don't know why.
It's not easy, especially when you're organic gardening, and that's what I do.
Yeah. The bugs just eat it.
Yeah, the bugs just eat it. I just ripped out Brussels sprouts because the bugs just, took it out. But I do a lot of beans and just a lot of stuff that I know will eat because I don't have a big space in my area. I have very little light in because I am backed up to a park that has huge trees and just kind of shadows my area for like almost half the day. So I'm amazed. My neighbor was like, "Oh my gosh, you're growing so much stuff over there. That's just crazy." And he's like, "Every time I walk by your garden, I'm like, wow. And I'm like, yeah." And I'm disappointed because I don't have enough light, yeah, it's a challenge, but looking forward to Tennessee and having all that light to not block.
Yeah. I was just curious, what kind of vegetables do you grow? I know you said you love tomatoes. I thought I saw some pumpkins in one of your videos.
Yeah.
What
Tomatoes,
other?
Pumpkins, cucumbers, green beans, peas, carrots. I have squash out there. Lots of squash this year. I have one lone zucchini plant. The rest of mine got eaten up. And that's finally producing.
Yeah.
I have some other kind of squash. I forget the name of it.
Is it patty pan?
Patty pan, yeah.
Yeah. That used to be my dad's favorite. I've never had it before, but I've
never had it either, so I'm trying it out this year. So, and then I have eggplant, and I did lots of herbs and mint for tea. I plan to do lot more herbs next year. And then what else do I have? And then I have blueberries and strawberries and, plums and pears. And
how many acres? Do you have a lot of acres or?
I have a 1/4 acre.
Oh, okay. Wow. You grow a lot. You're a good example of people that have smaller properties, what exactly they can do with their property. That's a really great example, Laura. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we have 3 turkeys and 4 rabbits and 2 ducks, and the ducks are just for show, but yeah, 2 male ducks. So they were separated from my chickens because they like to rape the chickens, but
Yeah,
Oh, sorry, this is PG, right?
that's okay. That's what happens. Hey,
Yeah.
Stringfield Ridge. Thanks for coming in. Hey, Money Pet, I saw you. Thank you so much for being here tonight, guys. Um, yeah, that's why we didn't put my ducks in with my chickens because I had a male.
Mhm.
Well, an owl ate my male duck.
Hmm.
So then I just put all my females in with my chickens and they get along just fine. But the only problem is they muddy up the water so bad
Yeah. Yeah.
because they like take a bath in it. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, that's community water there,
They
buddy.
take a bath in it and they strain their food in it. And
They're so cool though. I love
yeah,
ducks.
you gotta change their water every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the one thing that when I shouted you out on my media Monday that day, the one thing that really attracted me to you was the turkeys. Do you breed them or you eat them?
I eat them.
Okay. I was curious about that. What all have you had or have you only ever just had one breed?
I had the white breasted turkey meat breed, and then right now I have two males and one female bronze breasted turkeys.
Oh, okay.
And so we're growing those out. The males are really aggressive. I don't know if anybody else has
Hmm.
had an issue with um, males turkeys being so aggressive, but they were
Yeah.
attacking the chickens. So now I have them all just put in their pen and they have to stay in there. Plus
Yeah.
the female who is much lighter, she was flying and I'd find her on top of the shed and
Mhm.
all kinds of crazy places. So I'm sure
Yeah.
you know that having those turkeys. I want
Oh,
to
this is my first time having heritage breeds.
yeah,
The market turkeys don't really nest like that or fly like that. And this is my first time having that heritage breed. Well, they don't really go into a roost at night. They just sit on top of the fence or on top of what their house was, and
right,
that's where they roost for the night. And I'm like, I'm kind of worried about that, but the male turkey is freaking huge. I bet you he's about 30 pounds. So I don't think anything's gonna really take him.
right,
He's up off the ground, and I don't think an owl would want to lift that.
right.
So
I don't think they
yeah.
can. Unless they're a light chicken, they can't really. I mean, when I had an owl attack my meat chickens. I grew meat chickens in my backyard um, last year before I started YouTube, and now you can't show anything on YouTube anymore. So it's you know, but I did the whole meat chicken. I did like 30. Did 30 in one batch and then 20 in another batch. So I did a lot of meat chickens last year, and I had
Yeah.
an owl attack. I knew it was an owl because I had them in the grassy area of my backyard, and I had them free ranging or pasture raised basically, and an owl attacked them because they don't go in at night. They won't go in unless you make them go in, um, and he got stuck in the net that was around the grass. And so I
Uh-huh.
woke up and I'm like, what do I do with this owl? And it's like I walk over to him and he's looking at me with his eyes flashing and his chomp. Like I'm like, oh, I have to cut. How do I do this? I gotta cut this
Yeah.
apart. But yeah, we have a family of owls that live in the trees behind our house. And
Yeah.
it's amazing that they haven't got my chickens. So
Yeah, we had I don't hear them that much anymore, but we had a bunch of owls in ours too. And I've had my birds taken out and then of course um it was like really weird. My husband goes out at 9 o'clock in the morning and sees
mhm.
something really strange on the ground. Like sees something really strange and he's like, "What is that?" And he's looking, here it's an owl crawling on the ground eating my male duck.
Wow.
Yeah. So my husband was like, "What?" And he's like, "The only thing I could really notice about it," he's like, was standoffish at first because I didn't really know what it was." And he's like, "Then it turned its head and I saw its big old eyes, and
They're really not big enough to fly away with them.
no.
With the meat chickens, I hate to say this but I mean, they literally just ate the heads and left the chicken.
Yeah.
And it was like, thanks. 4 chickens gone, it's like,
Yeah.
so.
It's pretty obnoxious. That's why I really encourage crows to my property. And in fact, we don't eat duck eggs, so there for a while I was like letting the crows and stuff eat the duck eggs because they can't go in my coop, and I wasn't getting that much duck eggs anyway. And so I
Right.
was encouraging them to eat the duck eggs and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll pay you guys. You come out and you keep all the hawks and stuff away. So
Yeah.
we got a ton of crows here, and I don't mind. They don't attack my garden or anything. In fact, I thought about growing an entire field of sunflowers just for the crows because I like them so much.
Right.
But yeah, so they just come in and they hang out with my chickens though. They sit on the fence and and they eat their food and stuff. But it's a small price to pay
Right.
to keep the hawks and stuff away. So
Right.
but
I'm
yeah.
amazed. I'm amazed how many rabbits I have that you think that they'd get the rabbits,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
little rabbits.
See, we don't have any rabbits here. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
We have a really big coyote population here and fox population. And so you never see any rabbits whatsoever. And we have about 20 or 30 wild turkeys. And my husband catches them on the game camera all the time because we have one in the backyard with corn and stuff. So when he goes hunting, he has like an area where the deer come through. And
Yeah, I
it's
saw that on his channel.
oh my gosh, it's just like I've never seen like this last time. I don't know if he put it up, but this last time there was at least 20 or 30 turkeys back there
Wow.
just having a good old time eating the corn. I'm like, where did these guys come from? Like, I don't understand. And they're so cute. They just wander through the front yards with, all their little ones. And, I absolutely love it. And I just respect the turkeys because I love their beards. I love everything about that. And I'm not too connected where if they hunt them, I'm not hurt by that because I
Right.
understand why people need to hunt, but it's so cool. If they're just, this is probably one of the coolest birds out there, I think.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
They have great personalities.
Yeah. And I never thought that when we got our first turkeys, it was 4 years ago. And my daughter, she's 18 now, but she's in 4-H and was. And she had a rabbit for years in 4-H and she wanted to try something new. And we got the market turkeys and we started off, I think, with 5 or 6. And we picked which ones that were going to go to fair. And it worked out perfect, and then the next year we ended up getting 11 because we liked it so much. So we had 11 turkeys in the backfield, and we were lucky, we had one male amongst the entire group, and I never had a mean male, never, so far. But Michelle over at the Heathstead, she had I forget what they're called, Nagaset or Nagas something. They kind of look like a traditional turkey, but they're a heritage breed.
Yeah.
And she had one of them, and it was so nasty. She had to literally run in her coop and then run back out because it would chase after her. So she's like, yeah, that one's going to be dinner here before too long, that kind of thing. But yeah, I've never if I had a mean male turkey coming after me, I don't know what I would do. I'm not really scared of a rooster because a rooster's smaller. A 36 pound turkey, a 36 pound male coming out after you, their feet is what nightmares are made out of,
Yeah.
Like,
I know. They're huge.
Yeah. So, hey, Grammy Karen, thanks for coming in. Hey, Barb's Country Home, thank you so much. We are spiritually connected. Oh, I love that. I love that name. Cool. Thanks for coming in. But yeah, so, oh, hey, Simply Jan and Blands. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys. I got 35 people in here.
That's awesome.
Laura, that's so awesome. Look at all these people that support you. And what's funny is you're really gonna have to like get out your camera, and when you move, you're gonna have to videotape all of that. It's gonna be
we are gonna put it on a delay though. I mean, we're even gonna start filming like when our house sells. we're gonna start filming everything but we'll put it on a delay because of Chris's job. If I was on my channel, I wouldn't even be saying this, because people at his work watch, and we don't want them to know that we're leaving. So we're going to put it on a delay and start releasing it, and so that we have some stuff that we can release while we're doing, moves and stuff like that. So
yeah, I think that's so cool. And you'll have so many ways to be artsy about it and really film some really awesome things. So it's going to be a whole different journey for you guys. When you will be eventually moving, I don't know when, but eventually moving to Tennessee. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get there, what exactly is the plan?
Well, the plan changes a lot, but we were going to go with the Amish cabin, which we've seen other people do. And then we were deciding, what are we going to take? What are we going to leave? We are taking a huge loss in income. So everybody's like, oh, just sell all your stuff and buy new stuff. And I'm like, all that stuff costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not that we have great stuff, but all the canning equipment and the animal supplies and all of that stuff. We'll sell our animals because I don't think they'll make a trip like that, we're looking at barn kits, like a barn-dominium kind of a kit. And we're looking at, basically it's just the barn part. And then we're going to take half of that and make a house in there. But our dream eventually someday is to make an ICF house, which is a concrete built house. But I think we're going to start off with that kind of like just barn-dominium half house. So
that's so cool. That's so cool. Thank you guys once again for being in the chat and hanging out with us. It is, oh my gosh, we've been talking literally for a half hour. So if you guys have any questions for Laura, if you've been watching her stuff and you're curious, as long as it's not too personal, feel free to ask any questions. Just tag me in it so I know that you want to have a question for her. Prepper 101, thanks for coming in the chat. Hello, Howie. Thank you for being here. We love you, Howie. And so, it looks like Gil's here. I knew he came in as Camp Patton Family Compound, but now he's coming in as Great Man. So thank you guys so much for being here and hanging out with us tonight. What area of Tennessee are you planning on moving in? Big Dreams Homestead wants to know.
Well, I won't give my exact location. My husband's very private.
We want your coordinates and your address.
We are, if you know where Clarksville is, it's about an hour west of Tennessee. So in that area.
That's so funny because I used to live near there.
Really?
I lived in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and it's it's literally like right across the border. Yeah. But I was like literally a hop, skip, and a jump across the border. Like in an hour I could be at Nashville, So it was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a neat area, and it has, we're going to be building this barn-dominium ourselves, but we are old people, so it should be interesting.
You're not that old. You guys are young, and this is gonna be such a cool journey for you. You're gonna love it. Bob wants to know, wants to know, how I think he meant does your husband flying lessons?
How is that going?
Yeah.
He kind of stopped for right now because it's very expensive. But his dream is alive and well, and we even thought about putting a landing strip on our property. It's kind of hilly, so we don't know if we'll be able to do that.
Yeah, they call it Hoptown. That's right, Granny Karen. I used to work in Hoptown. It was
Nice.
about, I just calculated the other day, and it was about 14 years ago when I lived there. It's a long time ago. But
Right.
yeah. Yeah, so flying, man. Man, I'd be so scared of flying. Your husband must be really fearless. You've been in the planes and stuff with him before, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
how do you feel about that? Like, are
Well,
you
my dad
scared
used to,
or
no, because my dad used to do it. I mean,
oh, okay.
amateur pilot. So it kind of reminded me of my dad. So it was kind of a romantic kind of,
Aw.
thing, you think of, oh, and my dad's long passed away. So he died early at like 57 years old. So,
I'm sorry.
but so, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
so,
I understand. That's really cool that your husband has that hobby.
yeah.
Eric Johnson says, I don't fly. Actually, turkeys have a better chance of flying. Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Kaylin Strain has a question for you. Hello, Kaylin Strain. Thanks for being here and hanging out with us tonight. She probably would take her camera up and start filming.
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
My husband films, and I think he recently did. He went out and looked at a kit plane that you can buy, and it's like a kit that you put together in your own garage. That he could fly with his student license, and so he's looked at that and he's like, well, it's 70,000 for the plane and 70,000 for the motor, and he's like, but I can build it in our barn dominium. So the dream is real. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. Hey, my Aussie Garden and Kitchen. Oh, I haven't seen you in forever, Daz. Thank you
Hi,
so much for
Daz.
coming in. We love you. Aw.
Yeah, he's a cool
There's-
guy.
There's so many people coming here to support you. That's so awesome. Like, that's so great. I love everybody in the chat. I think we've all had connections with everybody. Like,
Yeah.
it's so awesome. And you guys
Yeah.
have been coming to the chat for so long, and we all have such a great time.
Yeah.
So this year, have you noticed like anything, like have you gotten really, really big vegetables or anything else going on? Like, and I meant to ask you about your carrots as well. You do container gardening. What kind of carrots do you grow? Because I had an issue with carrots with them bottoming out in
Right.
my bed. So what kind of carrots do you grow?
Cosmic purple is what I have in the ground right now, and something else. So we'll see what happens. I ordered Danner carrots.
Oh, those are so good.
Yeah. So I'll be growing those on the new homestead if I can get anything to grow in that clay out there. So we might.
Have you ever tried salsify before?
No.
No. Okay. This year was the first year I had a bunch of seeds that I bought at a farmer's market. And I was like, I'm going to try this because everybody says it's the oyster of the garden. It's supposed to be so good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I planted it and nothing really came up. So my husband and I were having issues with that bed anyway. We ripped everything out and there was still some stuff left behind. So I had a few beets and stuff like that. So we pulled them all out. We pulled out a giant salsify. It was like this big. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to like try it. You know, they say it's the oyster of the garden, right?
Mm-hmm.
I tried it. It was the worst tasting thing I have ever it tasted like chemical dirt.
Oh.
It was horrible. My husband's like, oh my God, like, is this really supposed to there was something wrong. There had to have been something. It was horrible. It was bitter. It was gross. I'm like, I'll never do that again. Never.
Right.
That was so gross.
I did do garlic and onions this year too, and they turned out
so good.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
want to grow more.
I suck at onions. I suck at brassica. Pretty much any brassica except for cabbage. We're doing. Yeah.
You guys are good at tomatoes.
Yeah, but I do we do good at tomatoes, but like seriously, the broccoli, the cauliflowers, still have Brussels sprout out there that's the Brussels sprouts on it are literally this big. I don't
Right.
think I'll get anything off of that. And onions this year. I grew a ton and I grew them all from seed because that was the
Mhm.
goal. And I wanted to grow those Elsa Craig ones because I wanted to
Right.
grow the big ones, you know?
Mhm, mhm.
So I planted them and half of them froze and died. And the other half didn't really do anything. And then my husband felt bad and bought like 300 sets. We planted those and nothing. Nothing.
Oh,
We
wow.
we we had a complete zero on the onions this year. And that's like my favorite vegetable. There is nothing better than a hamburger and a big old onion on it. I
Yep.
love that. But so what is your secret to onions?
I do them from seed. I've tried sets and I've failed at sets. They just don't do anything. I mean, it's like, so I have a bunch of green onions in the freezer from my sets, and that's all I got from them. So seeds, just,
Oops.
yeah. I
Yeah.
did, they didn't get as big as they did years before because my chickens at the beginning of my growing season attacked my garden. I thought it's over. Everything, because I started there was only like 4 plants in my garden that were from the store. Everything else was from seed. And so I was really upset when the chickens, because when you start them from seed, they're like your babies, this is,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, and
Gives me anxiety like
I
you
was
wouldn't
so
believe. I'm like, please don't die this year. Please. That's how I am every year. I'm like, please don't die. Please don't die.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, and I've researched, like, constantly researching how to grow this and how to grow that, and I love what you're doing with the garlic sprays and stuff like that. I use all organic stuff, but it's all purchased stuff. So I was really interested in what you were doing there, and so that was really cool.
Yeah, this was the first year that I did that, and I did it primarily for Shed Wars, but um, I kind of did it also for last year. Last year, I had so many bugs eat my cucumbers, and I was so mad because I'm such a cucumber fan. And this year, I looked into organic pesticides, different types of things that I could use that
Right,
wouldn't hurt my vegetables or me. That's
right,
mainly what I'm worried about is eating something from my garden that's going to hurt me.
right,
So I did a lot of research and read the Tomatoes Love Carrots book. There was a lot of good tips in there for organic gardening. So one of them was to soak chives in water and make a chive spray and use that
nice.
on your cucumbers because bugs hate that taste. They hate that smell.
Yeah,
And I had a bunch of buds and a bunch of garlic or chive buds. And I don't really like to have those go to seed because if you do, then you get chives everywhere.
yeah.
So I chopped off a bunch of those, put them in some water, and it stunk. Oh, bleh. Every time I opened that, I was like, this is horrible. I had to have to take immediate shower because my husband's like, oh my God, you smell. And I'm like, I know, I was out there spraying. It was so gross, but
That's funny.
it did work. And then I did a lot of research on companion gardening this year. So
Yeah.
I did the nasturtium, which bugs hate because those flowers have they're kind of hot. They have a
Mhm.
peppery taste.
Yeah.
So I planted the nasturtium at the bottom and then I sprayed the garlic spray and I literally have kept all the bugs away. All
Right.
of them. I would see one.
Right.
And I was so excited about that because last year it was just impossible. I was going out there with a mason jar and some Dawn dish soap and flicking the bugs
Oh,
at
yeah.
10 o'clock at night. This year I didn't have to worry about it. And you have to,
Black
that's,
light.
yeah. And a
Yeah.
lot of people are like, oh, it didn't work. It didn't work. Well, you have to do it from the very beginning.
Yeah. And
You
you have to be
cannot do it in the
consistent.
middle of the season. Yeah.
Right. That's the key to organic gardening is just consistency.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing to do when you got a crazy life.
But
Yeah, I planted garlic on the outsides of my garlic, of all my beds. And so, you know, anything and that helped a lot with, all the bug damage and stuff like that. So,
One thing I do have to say though is that stuff didn't protect against worms. I had wormy zucchinis, wormy pumpkins. I just cut it out because they didn't do that much damage. But that's one thing that I had an issue with was worms this year. And it was because it rained. Like, it was so weird. This year was so weird because in the beginning it was so dry. Like, our rain barrel that we have was completely empty in the beginning of the spring. And then all of a sudden the weather changed and we got rain constantly, which,
yeah,
you know, when you have that, you have to literally spray every day because
that
it
was
washes everything away. Yeah.
that's how it usually is here in Oregon, and it was the opposite this year.
Yeah. So, yeah, we just had some major weird weather issues this year and it caused blight and all different kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really can't remember the last day it rained. And I think the last day it rained here in Oregon, well, in my area of Oregon, was like maybe like 2 hours. And it was very
Wow.
late. Yeah. So we're having the opposite of everybody else.
That's
So,
really strange because don't you guys normally get a ton of rain there? That's like Washington and Oregon. That's what it's known for. And you guys have like rainforests and stuff
yeah,
there.
we're
So that's just
technically
strange.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much here as much as up in the Seattle area. It's technically a rainforest. We're slightly in that, but and it's not like hard rain like in Tennessee or in the South. You know, it buckets and then you're done. No, it's drizzling like constantly, like almost all the time. We do
Wow.
have a dry area for a couple months during the summer, but this year it's been like dry since spring, and so a lot of extra watering and so
So how do you battle that when you get a ton of rain like that when you have a garden? Um what can you do?
I just consistently spray, whenever it's, and I mean, and hope and pray for the best because
Yeah.
that's all you can do. I guess I could spray chemicals on my garden, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'd rather plant more of what I need and lose some. I guess that's how I battle it, is that even though I have a small space, I grow way more than I need, and then put it in the ground in every little corner in succession. So,
Yeah.
And that's how I battle it.
Yeah, that's one thing I really suck at is succession sowing because I don't have the patience, I think. I just want to put everything in the ground at once.
Right. Right. I do that mostly with my beans and stuff like that. That I just, okay, those are done. It's like, okay, we're 2 weeks in on our beans. Let's sow the next one, and then 2 weeks later, let's sow the next one. And so.
Yeah, I was really surprised that I had cucumbers still. Because I found some cucumbers at Walmart. They were the straight A heirlooms.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe I won't have enough cucumbers this year. So I planted like 3 of those in my garden. And just like a couple of days ago, I picked 2 of them off of one of my straight A's. And I was like, yes. I'm like, usually I don't have them this far into the season. Usually they burn up or,
Right. I
doesn't
still
work out very well.
got cucumbers coming out of my ears.
Oh, lucky. I love cucumbers.
I do too.
Yeah. Hey, Red Road Homestead. Thank you for coming in. Thank you, everybody, for coming in and hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it. I think I have it for 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock is the after party, and it is going to be an all-girl panel. So you are welcome to come in. Guys are still welcome to the chat. It's just going to be an all-girl panel. It's going to be ladies' night. So anybody that wants to come up can. If I know you and you don't do a whole lot of chatting, like face, if you want to hide your face, you can have that. That's fine. I will let you come up. But yeah, so I thought that would be a lot of fun to just have a ladies' night, and we can hang out and BS and talk. I'll probably end up doing it like maybe once a month or something.
That would be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just love your garden. I love everything about it. I love your animals. I know you had issues recently. You had issues recently with your chickens. What exactly happened there? Was it a person, or was it actually a predator coming in?
I still don't know.
You still don't know?
The door was ripped off one day of my chicken coop. And the only thing I know that could do that was a human being. And, we're backed up to a lovely park. And so they chased a lot of the homeless people out of Portland. And so that park is full of homeless people now. And I mean, my rabbit, one of my rabbit cages where both of my girl rabbits were in was knocked over, and one of the doors was partially open, and they probably tried to get one of my rabbits, thinking that would be an easy target, but those rabbits will scratch the living daylights out of you. So I think I more have a human problem than a predator problem.
Yeah.
Because they get away is the thing, is my animals tend to get away, and I don't see that happening with real predators.
No, you're right. You're right.
I mean, other than the eggs that go missing, because I'll come out in the morning and it's kind of a once a weekly thing that I find my egg door open, and it's just, there's no eggs there. And, my chickens are pretty young, so they're pretty, they're giving me 8 to 7 eggs a day, And so when you don't find anything, it's like,
yeah,
okay.
There's something up. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Hopefully when you move, you won't, you definitely won't have that problem, because you're going to be on 100 acres is what it is.
160. Yeah.
Yeah. If someone's on your property at 160 acres, I feel bad for them. It's like, that's 160 acres.
They'll
what exactly are you
hearing,
doing on my property?
They'll be hearing that.
Yeah.
My property out there.
Aww.
So, yeah, I mean, the county that we're moving into is, they have more guns per capita than any other county in the United States. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Your neighbors might not be friendly, but then again, you probably won't see anybody either. So what's the matter then?
We have a bunch of properties around us that are purchased. All of them are purchased, and they're all like big acre properties, like 150 to 80 acres, that kind of. So if we see anybody else, we might sell off like 10 acres here and there. It will probably be family that are coming to hang out with us on our properties. So
yeah, very interesting. I just love that. I love that you homestead. I love that. And recently on one of the lives, I mean, every day you're doing something on the live. You're either doing the chicken thing, or you're feeding your science project, or I always call it the sourdough bread the science project, because it basically is like that, Yeah. And then of course, then you are making pasta sauce the other day. How did that turn out, by the way? Was it really good?
It was really good. I mean, it was just a basic pasta sauce. Otherwise, my husband wouldn't let me do it. Because he likes to doctor it up. My husband's the real cook in the family. I'm the bread maker and the if you want a goodie, I make some really good cinnamon rolls.
Yeah,
I'm not
that
gonna
sounds
lie.
good.
Yeah, I do all the goodies, and he does the real good food. And he's one of those, I can follow a recipe really good, but he can doctor something together, and just it always turns out amazing. So
That's good. That's awesome. Yeah, tonight I
yeah,
made spaghetti. We've been eating spaghetti a lot because what happens is I make a lot of sauce, but then I always end up with like a half a jar and I can't really do anything with that.
right.
So then I put it in the fridge and I'm like, I guess we're having spaghetti tomorrow. So then, I make something out of it, but I have a ton of herbs and stuff, oregano and basil that I've collected over this past summer. And so I would use that. It's so much different. I mean, with the fresh ingredients, it just tastes different,
Yeah, yeah.
It's so good. And I don't put any sugar in it whatsoever because it doesn't need it. It's good the way it is.
Yeah,
So
you look at pasta sauce on the shelf, and it's all got sugar in it.
yeah.
And so it's like, that's the one thing I love about canning my own food, is that I can really control how much sugar everything has in it. Like when you were saying you were making ketchup and you were like taking the sugar level down. I do that a lot with my jams and stuff, and
Yeah.
it still tastes great.
Yeah.
It's like, so I mean,
Yeah, you're supposed to match when you're making jam. You're supposed to match the however much cups of jam per
mhm,
cups of sugar. So if you have 8 cups of jam or whatever you're using, you need 8 cups of sugar. For me,
right,
that is like far too much sugar.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I can't, and I felt like when I made my ketchup, I didn't really need that much brown sugar. It called for like I think 6 cups and I used 5.
yeah,
I just took it down 1 cup. I didn't want to vary it too much because I didn't want it to have a weird taste or anything, but
right.
it turned out really good.
That's
Like I was
exactly what
really
I do. Is like I usually peel off like a cup and a half of
yeah.
sugar. So just
Yeah.
trying to keep
Yeah,
healthy.
and fruit and in general is always really sweet anyway.
Mhm.
So adding more to that is just like it's too much.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
Cosmic Cultivator said they made ketchup. Good for you guys.
awesome. I've never made ketchup, so
Well, the only time I suggest it is if you said you've made enough pasta sauce and you made enough V8 juice and you made enough of whatever you eat, then if your last crop of tomatoes, you're like, I don't know what to do with this, then make ketchup.
right.
Because seriously, it took forever. 2, it seemed like a waste. I only got like 3 pints out of that whole thing, and I had almost a whole bushel of tomatoes.
Wow.
So yeah, I had to really
Yes,
cook it down.
that's the same thing with the spaghetti sauce, is that you really cook
Yeah.
it in. And I mean, I guess it's a way to get rid of a lot of tomatoes. I'm gonna do all spaghetti sauce this year. I have like, I mean, that was just the spaghetti or the tomatoes I had out. I can't fit any more in my freezer. I'm stuck right now. I've got so many in the freezer. It's crazy. So
Well, I hope you like it. That was like my great grandmother's recipe, and I had a hard time reading it.
yeah,
Like it was interesting. And when it said a whole bushel, I'm like, how many cups is that? Like, I don't know what I'm
right.
doing. My husband's like, just use a whole bunch of tomatoes, and it had vinegar in it. And when it was said and done, it tasted more like a barbecue sauce. But
Okay.
it was super good and it was great, but the vinegar and stuff in it, it tastes more like a barbecue sauce. So
See, if I did a barbecue sauce, I could see my husband going, "Okay, how can I doctor this up?" You know. Um, but I think that would be fun to make a barbecue sauce.
yeah. Where to Begin Homestead wants to know, how will you move all of your full jars of food?
Oh, I got to do meds.
Med stuff.
Okay. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Okay. Good night. He's an early to bed guy.
Aw.
Um, I think I'm gonna have to move them in my clothes. But
Yeah.
that's what we're or like put cardboard in between the jars, like you would like you see how people ship beer and stuff like that, kind of like that.
Yeah.
So
That's going to be hard.
it's going to be hard because I have tons.
Yeah.
So
Somebody asked a question and I lost it because the chat is going so fast. Still, we have 32 people in here, and the chat is just flying, which is really awesome. It's been a while actually since. Okay, here we go. Wide family farm. What a great family legacy. Yeah, I'm really, really fortunate, Bob. I grew up with my great grandmother living down the street from me, and she lived to be almost 100 years old.
that's
So
awesome.
I knew my great grandmother pretty much all my life, and I was really yeah, I didn't wasn't into the canning thing then, and I could kick myself in the butt if I could turn back time. I would learn everything from my great grandmother because she sewed like you wouldn't believe. She was a great seamstress. She
Hmm.
sewed really well. She cooked really well. She could bake like you wouldn't believe. And I wish I could turn back time and learn more things from her. But when you're a kid, I don't know. You don't think about it, you
I feel
know?
the same way. My
Yeah.
mom could sew like crazy. She couldn't cook. She could not cook. Yeah, she'd throw everything in a pot and call it good, and if it tasted good. But we were always so hungry, so it worked out. But yeah.
Kaylin Strength
Anyway,
says you can use towels and socks to wrap the items. And when I moved into my current apartment, so she used towels and socks, which socks are a really good idea. You could probably go to Walmart and buy like I don't know how many jars you have, so many jars or so many pairs of socks, of tube socks or
hmm,
something, and then
yeah,
just wrap
yeah.
your jars in those. That would be a good idea. Gardner Josh wants to know, what do you wish to grow next year, Laura?
I wish to grow everything I'm growing, plus I'd love to grow broccoli and all of those fun things and get it done. Um, but have, a lot more growing space so it actually feeds the whole family for a whole year. Right now, I'm doing pretty good at that. I have enough green beans stored away for the year. If we eat green beans once a week, and I have enough. Oh shoot, I have enough pumpkins from last year and this year that will be able to make everything our pumpkin desires. Um, uh, but I do wish to be able to learn the things that I haven't,
Yeah,
accomplished yet, which
yeah,
is all those brassicas, and I want to grow more cabbage, all the things that take up a lot of space because I have like on the one side of the house that gets the most light, um, where I'd want to grow cabbages and things that need all that light. I don't have the space, so
mm,
those are the things I want to grow.
yeah. I just want to be really good at growing cabbage so I can make some sauerkraut. I've been
Yeah.
doing a lot of research onto what I can use to ferment my sauerkraut in, and Amazon sells these kimchi ferment buckets, and they have
Okay.
like it has like everything you need in it. The ferminator, I think that's what it's called.
Hmm.
And I want to get one of those and do my own sauerkraut. I would love to do that. And sauerkraut is so good for your stomach. It's so
Yes,
good
it
for
is.
you. And I would
All
like to
those things
do
are
my
good.
own. Yeah.
That's why I like sourdough bread so much because when I eat sourdough, I don't get bloated and stuff like that because of it's the fermentation.
Yeah.
So
What? I'm sorry. Not being
you're
rude,
gonna
but she is.
ferment your carrots. That's awesome, Yogi.
Huh. All right, you guys. Watch out. It is horrible when it's fermenting. Yeah, it probably smells really bad.
I'm sure it does.
We are intimidated by canning, but once we realize how, Simply Jan, same here. I wasn't intimidated by water bath canning, but for using my pressure canner, I was 100% intimidated. And then Tammy from Rebel Canners was, telling me, what to do. And then we watched some YouTube videos, and my husband and I sat and watched when we canned pumpkin for the first time. I think that was probably the easiest thing to do, is to can the pumpkin. And we watched the gauge on it the one night, and now I could just totally 100% can on my own. I feel no issues with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like, I really could can, and it's not a big deal. I don't know why I was so scared. Like, it's nothing.
Because everybody talks about it like their house is going to blow up.
Yeah, like their house is going to.
So many safety measures on the newer canners than they used to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, bye, Eric Johnson. And it is 10:30, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. I want to thank you, Laura, for being here. Thank you for being a part of the Poop Troop and hanging out with us so much. I'm really looking forward to seeing your move and, and moving over to my side of the world. I'm excited about that because you're going to be close. You're going to be probably about 8.5 hours away from me.
I'll be like, hey, you got some turkeys for me?
Exactly. We plan on, we have those royal palms now. So
They're beautiful.
we're going to raise them. So I'm excited about that. So Stringfield Ridge said they wanted some too. So I'm like, maybe we'll have to get those out for the springtime or something and see what we can do. But thank you so much for just being our friend and being a part of this. And we love you. So thank you so much.
Well,
go ahead.
I am enjoying so much the relationships we have in our group, and the people on the panel, and everybody in the chat that I can see. They're such loving people, and they really do care about you and the people in the group, and I really appreciate that. That's so nice. So
thank you so much, everybody in the chat. They really do care, and we're not all homesteaders either. We're from all different walks of life, and we have one thing in common, and that's each other, and we talk, and we have such a great time. And I'm so happy with that, Yep,
it's awesome.
Oh, thank you, Simply Jan. Thank you for being here and hanging out with us. Christy Betts, thank you so much.
Thank you.
The after party starts at 11. It is going to be an all-girl panel. I'm going to send out my links. So if anybody wants to come up, they can. You can email me, widefamilyfarm@gmail.com. And you can come on up, and we will see you all next time. Thank you so much, Laura. Did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
No, just looking forward to my adventures and having you guys come along with me. So
awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Andale, for being here. I didn't see you in the chat earlier, but thank you guys so much once again. And we will see you all at the next Wednesday night live. I go live also Friday afternoons with Tammy. We do a canning show with the Rebel Canner at 12:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Sunday nights, it's 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, of course, Media Monday is at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you all next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.